Often seen what goes inside when I'm cleaning windows.
Just want a quick chat about cancer. I'm not an expert, I don't know everything about it, but I do know some things that might be interesting, unusual, bit of inside even. I want to discuss my ex-partner's sister, who is Professor Alison Gartland, the head of Bone Cancer Research UK. Go back about 20 odd years ago, I took her in a van down to Montpellier University to complete her last year of her PhD, and I met a guy there who was taking her for her last year of a PhD, called Bob Hipskind. I've got it right, Hipskind or Hipskind, however way you want to say it. That was his name. Bob. I got talking to Bob one night while he was cleaning dishes, and I complimented him on the way he was rinsing his dishes. He was thorough, he was rinsing and rinsing and rinsing and rinsing and rinsing, so I complimented him on it. And he said, "You know why I do that?" And I said, "No, but you're going to tell me, aren't you?" And he said, "Yeah, I am." He said, "Because," he said, "I've got a chart in my office," he said, and it maps bone cancer. And he says, go back into the 1950s, there was no such thing as bone cancer. But these days, we're full of it. And he's convinced that it's caused by all the new detergents which came in after post-war. They came in because, he said, housewives were sick and tired of doing everything on elbow grease, and they wanted products to help them. That was the official explanation. And when they first started inventing them, he said, as the number of people increased, on this chart he's got, as the number of people increased who were using these chemicals for cleaning the dishes, then came along a new disease with it. He said, and as the numbers have increased even more so of people using them, this disease followed it like its shadow. It was called bone cancer. And this stuff is in the likes of your fairy liquids, your detergents for cleaning dishes. So years ago, when your mum used to wash the dishes, she put them all on the draining board, go away, get on with something for half an hour, come back and just get them and put them away. Well, them traces of bubbles were still on there. So when food or liquid hit these cups, dishes or utensils, it reignited it, and we were ingesting it. And over the course of time, this is bone cancer. So, winding forward, he told me all this many years ago, like I said, and I didn't really understand it thoroughly at the time. However, since then, a lot's changed, and we've all been looking at all sorts. So, some time back, I was looking at what kind of research that we all use every day that could be damaging, that could be poisoning us, and I suddenly thought, toilet paper. So when I looked at toilet paper, I found out that toilet paper, all the modern brands, are processed in formaldehyde, including the one off the advertisement with the lovely little golden retriever puppy. That's rinsed in formaldehyde. Now, when you look at bowel cancer, coming aside now, when you look at bowel cancer, well, every day people are wiping formaldehyde on the bum, and you've just got to say it like it is. They're wiping formaldehyde on the bum, and I've got a good analogy for this. If I was to let you watch me for 2 years solid, get a cloth and put a carcinogen material on it, a little trace, and wipe it on my shoulder for 2 years or so, and then suddenly say to you, hey, I've got cancer in the shoulder, what are you going to say to me? So why is that? Why would it be far-fetched that toilet paper is giving out all the bowel cancer? And if you go back to the 1970s, there was nowhere near as many people with bowel cancer as there is now. In the 1970s, remember in school when we had that tracing paper, scratch your bum right up your back, but that had no formaldehyde in it. Same as your little squares of newspaper by the toilet, no formaldehyde. Suddenly, they got everyone addicted to the idea of having this luxury new white stuff. Late 70s, early 80s, this lovely stuff, you know, the stuff with the golden retriever, etc. Suddenly, they got everyone hooked up on the idea, we'd love to have that, we'd love to have that. Suddenly the tracing paper disappears, and then all we've got across the board is this white stuff, rinsed in formaldehyde. So just think about that next time you go to the toilet. And I'm going to say this to you as well. I think there's a strong correlation between the women's problems, you know, the cervical cancers, etc., the ovarian cancers, because I've done a bit of looking, and I've also found out that all the women's sanitary products, they are all processed in formaldehyde. So unfortunately for women, they're inserting formaldehyde in an area where they always get cancer. So we come back to the shoulder analogy. Is it that unbelievable? No, it's not. That's all I've got to say for now.
When I'm cleaning windows.